sudden we have a success, they're going to do another series. You know, that's done. It started at the BBC in England, and then the History Channel bought it. And actually, the guy who, I forget his name now, but the fellow who does all the interviewing of these superhuman people, he's really great. And he himself, he has this body, he can stretch it into it. It's like he has no bones. When I first met him, they delivered a corrugated box, no higher than that, and about that size. And they open it up and he gets out of it. He unfolded himself from the box. It was amazing. But anyway, he is wonderful. I get a lot of credit for the show, but all I do is say one sentence at the beginning, and that's it. But I've never been loath to accept credit. Now, I forgot, what was the question? I lost it.
Well, of the series,
they're all favorites. You know, the one that really impressed me, see, what I gotta tell you, when you talk to me with the mic,
it's the same as...
Yeah, the mic, there's something about that, it sounds to me like, but when you put the mic away, your dulcet tones ring. So anyway, the guy that...
That's the best compliment I think I ever could have gotten. Thank you.
Yeah, but I didn't hear him say it was a great compliment. He held the goddamn mic to him. I love the guy who was on a 30-foot tower and he jumped into what looked like a kid's waiting pool. Did you see that one? Man, I still don't know how, but they're all incredible and they're real. This show is like Ripley's Believe It or Not. Anyway, it's going to go on forever, so you might as well get used to it. Okay, next. No, I don't want to sit. Do I look that old? Sit.
The chair's for me, actually, Stan. Next question. Yes, sir.
Hi, I read something about the Tigers movie that you were working on with Al. Can you talk a little bit about
Something
that?
about the what?
Tigris movie.
Oh, Tigress! It's just another... I just noticed, that's me. So if I turn this way, I can't see myself, and I can't... So if I want to see myself, I have to see myself. Why don't they have the screen back there so I can see myself? What a silly arrangement. I mean, you don't need it, you can see me, but I can't see me, so I want that screen moved back there. Thank you very much. What was the question? The Tigress. You having fun?
I'm having
It's important to me that you were fun. Because this guy, boy, if he doesn't have fun, you can't get along with him. Tigress is another of the many movies that we're developing at POW Entertainment, purveyors of wonder. And needless to say, since the name is Tigress, it's about a female, and she has the powers of a tiger. And that's all I can tell you now, but when the movie opens up, I expect each and every one of you to be there, and if I see one of you missing, you'll hear from me. But it's going to be a good story.
Who would be your first choice to play Tigris?
Well, let's see, Angelina is busy at the moment. I don't know, there are so many beautiful women in Hollywood who can do these things. I'm not good at it. I have a partner named Gil Champion. What a last name, Champion. And he used to be a casting director, so I leave those things to him. He'll find somebody.
Next question. Yes, sir.
What were some of your influences before you became recognized as the person you are now?
What were my influences before I became recognized, and I missed the rest of it?
Before you became the great Stan Lee, what were your influences?
I just wanted him to repeat it. Actually, if I may be serious, which is difficult, actually I think that everybody is influenced by everything they see or hear or read in their lives from the time they're born. You are a mechanical genius. You handled that. I never would have known. And since I don't hear well, I wouldn't have heard that I'm not being... I think that everything influences you. I read a lot of books, I saw a lot of movies, I had a lot of friends, we talked a lot. I don't know that I was influenced any more than anyone else is, but I did the same things that any kid does. And I will say one thing, I loved the movies, and I loved, most of you are too young to remember him, but there was this guy, Errol Flynn. He was my idol, and he played Captain Blood, and Robin Hood, and the mayor, and the sheriff at Dodge City, and all the things he played. And I remember I'd be about 10 or 11 years old, and I would leave the theater after seeing an Errol Flynn movie, and I'd have an imaginary sword at my side, and I'd be looking around to see if any little girl was being picked on by a bully, and boy, I would come and I would rescue her. That's what Errol Flynn did for me. It turned me into a cornball.
Next question, yes, ma'am.
When you were a little boy, did you want to be a superhero?
Didn't get that.
Did you want to be a superhero when you were a kid?
No, I just wanted to be able to grow up. The war was going on. I hoped I'd make it. No, we never thought about being superheroes. When I started writing them, I hoped that people would buy the books so that I'd keep my job and I could pay my rent. And I hope this doesn't sound terrible, but it never occurred to me to want to be a superhero. I never thought of it. I kind of like being me. You know, I'm happy being me. My wife thinks I'm nice. My daughter tolerates me. He's waiting if I'll ever stop so he can go home and do the regular things he does instead of... He wishes first of all, he speaks better than I do, so he's saying, why the hell don't I be doing this? And then kind of listen to him, and I could be doing it so much better, and I wouldn't need people to repeat the question, and I know what you're thinking. You have a great talent for knowing what people think. Next question.
Stan, you served in the military. Did those years inspire you?
They inspired me to want to get the hell out and be a civilian. One thing, I wrote a book later on called Sergeant Fury and His Howling Commandos. Had nothing to do with me having been in the military, but I loved writing those stories. I had him do all the heroic things that I didn't do when I was in the military. I was a sergeant, I want you to know. We referred to it, I was a three-striper, and we call that a buck-ass sergeant. And boy, nobody better mess with you when you're a three-striper. I was the skinniest, littlest three-striper. I tried to look tough, you know. I wore dirty fatigues, and I muddied my face a little when I went to the barracks or to the mess hall, and I tried to give it a little this when I walked. I didn't fool anybody. They knew I wasn't tough. But I taught judo for a while. You wouldn't know that in the Army. And judo is the art of using your opponent's strength against him. So if somebody throws a heavy punch at you, instead of just punching him back, you step aside and with the force of his punch, you grab his arm and keep him going and you throw him over. So a skinny guy like me was sometimes able to throw over a bigger guy, but if I were being very honest, I got thrown over more than I threw the other guys over. But we're digressing, aren't we?
Next question.